Hello, and welcome to Barovia. I am your humble master of dungeons and keeper of dragons, Pixel. And I forgot to put something on my OBS. I'll have to deal with that in a minute. But I am pleased to present to you the horrors beyond comprehension. Present the Abbey of St. Markovia's 28th episode of Ages of Einor presents The Curse of Strahd. As always, friends, we're going to the game here in just a few minutes. But before we do, we're going to go over usual housekeeping things. First things first, Nick is not with us today. Ozzy is not with us today. Unfortunately, had a work engagement, unable to get out of it. These things happen. So it's just going to be the three of us, and I'm going to be sort of mecha piloting Cass for the evening. Furthermore, friends, when you're seeing the maps, you are seeing the GM perspective. So please don't spoil anything. You're going to see things that are behind walls that the players can't see through. You're going to see things that are like semi-grayed out and are on the GM layer and stuff like that. Please try not to spoil those things because our players will be in chat with you guys, trying to, talk and enjoy the episode with you even as we go through it. So don't mention anything that they probably can't see. That will be great. Thanks. Next up, don't freak out about rules. If you know every rule of D&D, congratulations. But there are too many of those for me to keep in my head, and for most of the rest of us to keep in our heads. We try to do our best, but we're going to mess things up. So if we're like trying to remember a ruling and you know what it is, feel free to put that in chat. But if we don't see it and I just like make something up and we move on, don't freak out about it. We'll try to learn it right for the next time, but don't lose your mind and go off and chat or anything. Thirdly, as always, or I guess this is actually fourthly, because I did Nick first. Whatever. Next, this is an open and welcoming space, so keep that internet toxicity bullshit out of here. As always, it's never a problem with you guys, but we do like to make sure that you know that we don't put up with people being hateful or abusive in chat, whether that's to any other viewers or to any of our players regarding their knowledge of the game or the rules, their character choices, or really, frankly, anything else. Next, this adventure is horror-themed and may contain elements that are unpleasant or disturbing. We're not aiming for excessive graphic content, but in the context of a live stream, we typically won't be able to give any kind of content warnings or anything like that, because a lot of this is improvised. So, we do try to put those types of warnings on our YouTube and podcast versions of the show. So if those are concerns for you, you may want to look into those. Also, it is widely known and accepted that this adventure does have some problematic depictions of folks who are inspired by sort of travelers or Romani people, IRL. I've done my best to sort of look for resources to alter those depictions to avoid offensive stereotypes, but we do kind of try to give that acknowledgement that we're doing our best with that to avoid those problems. And a reminder, we do release a show on YouTube and it's a podcast each week. After the show, so if you miss an episode or need to get caught up, if there's like your first time with us and you're like 28 episodes in, how am I going to get caught up with all this stuff? It's on YouTube. You can go catch it and watch all the past episodes. And of course, last thing before we get started, if we can go around and cast, please introduce yourselves and your characters, as well as whether or not you have the chat inspiration before we jump in, starting with Vincent Page.
Yo, everybody. I am Vincent Page, and I will be playing Ash Fireforge tonight, the Changeling Rogue. And as always, I forgot to look and see if I have chat inspiration. I do. We are looking good.
Excellent. Omega.
Hey y'all, my name is Omega. I'm kind of double fisting two characters right now. So I am playing Onyx Montarch, the Bladesong wizard, and I'm also playing Peta Wallhorn, the Valor Bard, and I do not have chat inspiration.
Excellent. Bonus Mom.
Hi, I'm Bonus Mom, and I am playing Wanderous, the Nature Domain Cleric. I do have chat inspiration, and I'm worried about my friend Onyx.
Awesome. And of course, as always, I'm Pixel. You can find me here on twitch.tv/HammerandPixel. Also, Omega, you do have inspiration now.
Yay. Thank you.
That one. I gotta... Uh-oh. Okay, I may have to manually do these buttons because my buttons aren't working. We're on a different scene because of reasons. And
Aussie.
So some of my buttons aren't set up to work quite right. So it's fine. I normally on these on these off days, like where we have different setups, not all of my setup works correctly, and that just kind of is what it is. Anyway, so I am Pixel. You can find me here, twitch.tv/Hammer and Pixel. You can also find me here on Ages of Ainur, of course, where I'm the GM. I GM this campaign every other week, and then on alternating weeks, we have our Region of Bedagar campaign, which we are coming down to probably about our last 3 or 4 episodes of that. We unfortunately had to miss last week due to another cast member not being there, but come hell or high water, we will be there on the 28th. So that's that. Anyone have any other announcements I need to make, or are we jumping in here? Going once, going twice? Okay, well,
we're good.
Without further ado, my friends, when last we left our heroes were in the Blue Water Inn in Vallaki, as the town outside went through some sort of revolution against the formerly in power burgomaster, who had, it seems, convinced everyone that remaining happy and doing a bunch of festivals would keep Strahd at bay. However, several days before that, when our heroes were in town, Strahd had attacked and burned down and killed a lot of people inside of the abbey, inside of the Church of St. Andrel. And so the peasantry sort of decided to revolt and finally take out the burgomaster. Our heroes didn't get involved in any of that business, but they did agree to try to help out their friends, the Martikovs at the Blue Water Inn, to keep it safe just in case anyone who was with the sort of, in the uproar, anyone decided to attack or burn down the inn. And in this process, they met a new addition to our little party of heroes, I guess you'd call them. They met Peter Walhorn, a new arrival to Barovia, who was apparently in search of a missing wizard, also in search of Onyx's mentor, for very different reasons, seemingly in hopes of hearing his great exploits to be sung into glorious song. After all, he is apparently a somewhat talented and maybe well-known adventurer. After a tense night spent in the tap room of the Blue Water Inn, keeping watch to make sure the revolutionary townsfolk didn't get out of hand and burn the place down, our heroes decided to make for Kretsk by way of Rictavio's tower. Rictavio was the changeling individual who had helped protect the townsfolk from Strahd and his spawn with a magic circle spell in the Church of St. Andrel in Vallaki when the bones of the saint had gone missing several days ago. Rictavio had earlier revealed himself as a fellow changeling to Ash and Monster Hunter as well, and bid them to come visit him at his tower when they had a chance. So our heroes set out to the tower, which lay between Vallaki and Kretsk, just off the old Svalich Road, on a small tombolo in Lake Baratok. They reached the place. They saw an empty wagon outside. As they approached the doorway, they saw a strange puzzle laid into the door. As they tried to open it, they were shocked by an arcane trap with a jolt of electricity. They eventually just decided to shout to see if Rictavio was home. He did notice them and came down a rickety scaffolding on the side of the tower, which they surmised would not hold Wanderous' weight, but he did let them in, solving the puzzle on the front door. The tower interior is extremely dilapidated, with nothing much of interest except an elevator manned by strange clay golems. Rictavio led them in and took them up the elevator to the top room of the tower, which remained the most intact, and apparently where he had been making his home in Barovia for some time now. He revealed himself to be the legendary monster hunter Rudolf van Richten in disguise, who was on one last monster hunt of the legendary vampire Strahd before his retirement. He had spent a long time in Barovia investigating Strahd, trying to make inroads with the local population to find allies to take him on. He was most interested in the Tome of Strahd, which our heroes had found, that contained Strahd's own biographical account of his life and the onset of his vampiric curse. He also offered the heroes what little aid he could, a few vials of holy water and some spell scrolls of major image and remove curse. He told them to look out for his apprentice Esmeralda, with whom he had parted ways several years before coming to Barovia, but whom he had also heard was maybe here searching for him. Our heroes then made their way to the village of Kretsk, only to be met at the massive gate by surly guards and an extremely unhelpful burgomaster. After a tense negotiation, the burgomaster finally agreed to let the heroes into the city to visit the Abbey of St. Markovia in the hillside near town. Our heroes made their way to the abbey in search of the ally foretold to them by Madame Ava. Upon reaching the gates, they were greeted by strange, deformed creatures, partially human, but an amalgamation of strange, bestial body parts as well. The malformed beings told our heroes they would take them to the abbot for an audience and began to lead them into the abbey. And that, my friends, is where we begin our tale. So you all stand in the entranceway of the Abbey of St. Markovia. You've creaked open the large rusty iron gate, which alerted the guards, Otto and Zygfrek, who are these strange creatures that I believe I gave you some handouts of them. Let's see. Otto Bellevue is an individual with sort of like leonine legs and a donkey's tail and like one donkey's ear and like a wolfish snout. Just this strange amalgamation. And Zygfrek hides deep in their cloak, but appears to have sort of like wolf's fur and lizard scales and a cat eye. And they have begun to sort of lead you in to the abbey. Otto plunged right into... not Otto. Wandress plunged right in to follow them. But... turn these nameplates off, too. But the rest of you have not yet moved from your place outside the walls. Is everyone going to follow, or what are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, why not follow the creepy donkey people?
Yeah, I'll probably follow as well.
Okay. Okay, well. I'll just move everybody in here. What's the marching order here? Wandress is obviously following kind of right behind them. Who is next?
I can follow him behind Wandress.
Okay, Wandress, Ash.
And I'm sure Cass would probably want to keep an eye on me, so I'll probably be right behind Ash.
Okay. All right, so as you come in to your right in the courtyard, you see stunted pine trees growing out of the rocky earth near the foundation of the Abbey's north wing. The windows of the structure, which you can see here, are cracked panes of leaded glass. Further to the south, this isn't the south. If this is the north wing, I guess this is further north. I don't really have my directions on this map very well. Over here, to your right, you see ancient gravestones sort of bursting forth from a thin crust of snow in the yard. Beyond the low wall that surrounds the graveyard, the ground falls away. The village lies 400 feet below. So, and the wall on the outer wall is not very tall, I believe. So you can kind of see over it and see the village back down below as you sort of like took the hatchback road all the way up here. And so this sort of series of graves, you could see over the wall down to the village below from there. And as you continue to move forward, we'll just kind of bring you up here. You sort of see the Abbey entrance to sort of the proper building here. You see a 15-foot high curtain wall, which joins the Abbey's two wings. So if you look here, this is the north wing, which makes, I guess, this the east wing. And they're sort of connected by this diagonal wall. Behind the battlements, two guards stand at attention, their features obscured by fog. Below them, set into the wall, is a pair of 10-foot tall wooden doors, reinforced with bands of steel, these massive 10-foot doors. To the right of the doors, mounted on the wall, is a tarnished copper plaque.
A tarnished what?
Copper plaque. Sort of like a little, copper-like.
What are our little friends doing?
Your little friends just sort of go up and open the door.
What's the plaque say?
Inner courtyard. The plaque says, quote, May her light cure all illness. End quote.
Obscure?
May her light cure all
Cure.
illness. Cure as in fix. To make well. Also, anyone who wants to can give me a perception check.
I want to. Am I any good at perception? I just wonder.
Probably. You're a cleric. You probably have high wisdom, whether you're proficient
Okay.
or not.
I rolled a 7.
I've lost myself.
Okay, well then,
Ash got
in that
23.
case, you can't
There it
perceive
is.
anything.
It was minimized. Okay, perception.
Thank
Did
you.
it work? Did I roll it?
Yep.
I got a 17.
Okay. Okay, so both Ash and Wandress, as you look up at the guards, you notice that they are not people at all. They appear to be propped up scarecrows wearing corroded chainmail and clutching rusted spears. Seemingly there for just the intimidation factor, I suppose. Nevertheless, your friends sort of walk directly into the courtyard. Do you follow?
I think
Yeah.
Wanderous would have looked over at Ash when he saw these scarecrows and realizes that Ash sees it also, and then looks over at PETA and kind of makes a motion, like not like look, but something very subtle to draw PETA's attention to it also.
Okay.
And because of that, hesitates a little bit and hasn't stepped in. And I think he's kind of looking at Ash and Cass to see what they're going to do. Well, and he probably would hope that if Cass didn't see it, she would see his motions.
Okay.
So we're standing outside when they're inside the courtyard,
Yeah,
right?
so they walk
Is that-
in, and if you stay out here too long, they're sort of going to like turn around and motion you in.
Well,
you know.
and Wanderous has walked up there and seen the things and the whatever, and he's sort of headed in, but he doesn't want to head in without knowing everybody's going with him. That's what I'm getting at here.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I was following you in for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably be behind.
Okay, then Wanderous has moved in also, so we're all inside now.
Okay. So yeah, you all are inside. You see a thick fog fills the courtyard, swirling as if eager to escape. The courtyard is surrounded by a 15-foot high curtain wall on which several guards stand with their backs to you. From this angle, it's much more obvious that they are merely scarecrows. Wooden doors to the north and east lead to the abbey's two wings. In the center of the courtyard, a stone well is fitted with an iron winch to which a rope and bucket are attached, here in the middle. Along the perimeter, tucked under the overhanging wall, you can see these sort of like dotted lines. Those indicate that up above is like a jutting out kind of stone wall, like walkway up above. Underneath, you can see several stone sheds with a padlocked wooden door over here. You can see 3 shallow alcoves with wooden troughs over here. And you see 2 wooden posts are pounded into the rocky earth and have iron rings bolted to them over here. And you can see chained to one of the posts is a short humanoid creature with bat wings and spider mandibles.
Is it moving?
Yes, it appears to be alive. And you also begin to hear horrible screams coming from the sheds. But as they approach, your 2 guides turn to look at you, and one of them says, "Wait here. We will get the abbot." And they begin to move down towards this doorway.
Ash, I don't think I
Very
like this
open.
place.
I don't like
They
this
go
place either.
inside.
Everybody be on your guard. I don't like those screams. I don't know what that thing is tied up over there. But obviously their security detail's a bit lacking, so if things go sideways, just be ready.
I think I'm going to go look at it a little closer. Being a cleric, I'm concerned. So Wondrous is going to move like maybe there as he's closer.
Yeah, you can see that the creature chained to the post sort of flaps its wings and takes to the air as you approach, but it doesn't get terribly far before the chains go taut, not letting it go any further. And the creature flutters about madly, screaming nonsense. The creature's about 4 foot 5 inches tall and has a hunched posture. Long, stringy black hair hides much of the face. But clearly visible through the hair are spider mandibles, replacing her human mouth. She has arms and wings of a bat, so sort of like her arms, like the wings just kind of come off and go down her side. But has a cloven hoof in place of her right foot. And is just sort of like flying around and screaming gibberish.
Can any one of us recognize what it is? Like, is it something that
The creature?
Yeah, correct.
Make an Arcana check, I guess, or a medicine check, or maybe a nature check. I think any of those could be relevant.
Okay, well, Wondrous is closer and is definitely going to do that. And then I think maybe Wondrous is going to attempt to cast Speak with Animals.
Nature, Arcana. What was the other one?
Nature, Arcana, or Medicine.
Okay, Wondrous
Love that.
rolled 20 for Nature.
Okay.
I rolled 20 for Arcana.
Okay.
Well, hell, I'll just roll the other one.
It's medicine.
Okay, I guess.
Roll it just to see.
Why not?
We'll approach it if I get a 20.
If
I'll
it's
pee.
a 20, oh.
Yeah, dang it.
damn.
I missed it.
No luck.
If it had been a trifecta, I was going to demand additional
we would
inspiration.
have known every angle of this
Right.
thing.
Okay, so on a 20 nature check, Wondrous, that is not any natural creature of any variety. Like, it just clearly has like body parts of some other creatures like grafted into it, but you don't see like stitches like it was medically grafted or whatever. It's just like growing out of its body are the wrong parts. On a 20 Arcana check, PETA, kind of the same, except you assume this has to be some sort of magical intervention in whatever these biological processes are. Like this, like, because it's like this is clearly some kind of weird, you don't know if it's a wizard experiment or a curse or what it is exactly, but like this is just wacky abnormal junk. And like the stuff that this thing is screaming is not animal speech. Like it's screaming like words that just don't make any sense and just nonsense syllables, but it's like its mouth is, despite having spider parts jutting out of it, has enough to have vaguely like common speech, but it seems to be screaming like crazy paranoid stuff. It honestly sounds a little bit like what the Mad Mage was always on about. It's just how like there's something, they're after me, they're watching everywhere, etc., like weird paranoid things.
Huh.
You know what? I think Wondrous is going to try it anyway, just out of like, he's just horrified. Okay. And so I think that Wondrous is going to attempt to speak with animals, hoping that he can find out.
Okay.
And he's just going to try. He's going to.
Sure. Are you like trying speech of beast and leaf, like your natural feature, or are you actually casting the speak with animals spell?
Cast of beast. That's the one where they don't necessarily know what I'm saying. The beast and leaf.
The speech
right?
of beast and leaf, the creatures can understand you, but they don't gain some ability to speak back. If you cast speak with animals, you gain the ability to like understand if they're speaking.
I'm doing speak with animals.
Okay.
Wanderous is attempting to
Gotcha.
cast its speak with animals, and he would be trying to say to this creature, what has happened to you, and why are you tied up, and can we help?
Yeah, so go ahead and mark off the spell slot. It does not seem to give you any further ability to communicate with this thing. It continues to just rant and rave. Strange things.
I would share with my compatriots that I reached out to it. I actually tried to cast speak with animals. It does not respond. So I think we know it's not natural. I don't know. It's odd.
It's as far as I can tell, this is something magical. It's some mad individual has done this to this poor creature.
What is going on in this place? We must be very careful.
I definitely agree. I don't see what help we can get from this place, to be honest. But well, I guess we'll see.
But we were told to come here, right, Ash?
Yeah, it was. This is the only other place that I can think that Madame Ava was even talking about. This is as far as I know. This is pretty much as far west as we can go. And I didn't even. One of the guards or somebody mentioned something. Somebody mentioned something to us about a sunlight pool. It's like a body of water, right?
I don't think that was the guard. I think that is your clue.
Right. So, I thought that maybe Van Richten or somebody had like confirmed that there was some kind of thing. Maybe not. It's been 2 weeks, obviously.
Yeah. So let me find, because the clues that you currently have are the third card, which was a card of power and strength that tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. And the clue is to look to the west, find a pool blessed by the light of the white sun. So that's your clue. The next clue that you had that you think is actually really specific. The card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. A Vistana wanders this land alone, searching for her mentor. She does not stay in one place for long. Seek her out at St. Markovia's Abbey near the Mists. So that specifically told you to come to this abbey. The other one just said it's in the west, but you know that Kretsk is the farthest thing west. So it's either in this abbey or in the town.
Or back.
Something about a pool blessed by the light of a white sun.
Okay, so can I reiterate? I think that this is the best place to start. Like, it sounds like Van Richten's apprentice were meant to meet her here, if the fortune can be believed. I don't like this place either.
Her name is Esmeralda.
Right. I know this place is creepy and it sucks, but hopefully we can find out what we need and maybe get out of here.
Let's.
I was going to ask real quick. I know that you said these up here were, this specific one was padlocked. Are all of these padlocked? These sheds?
Yes, I think all of the sheds are padlocked.
Okay.
And is that the directions from which the screams are coming?
Yes, there are screams coming out of the sheds.
Okay. Is there any like windows on them, or is it like literally just a boxed in?
No, they're just like boxed in sheds. And there are a couple of doors. There's a door here that seems to lead into a different wing of the abbey. There are two doors here that seem to lead into like little guard rooms or something that are clearly like next to the main door, kind of like when you first came in and there was those two guard posts right next to the wall. It's kind of like that, it looks like. And then there are some doors down on this side. Oh, and apparently there are a couple more locked sheds over here. So like the whole wall is like every so often there are just these locked sheds, and you can kind of hear screaming coming from any of them. But a few moments have passed, and an individual walks out into the courtyard with you. It is a handsome man in a brown robe.
Wondrous returns to his friends immediately.
And he says, "Oh, hello. We don't often get visitors here to the Abbey. I am the abbot. What can I do for you?"
We're looking for possibly some information or an item.
Oh, I see. Well,
Not to be like kind of blunt and straight to the point here, but what's going on here? Why does everybody seem to be mutated in some sort of way, other than you?
well, some time ago, when I first came here, this family came to me looking for help. They had a strange disease that afflicted their flesh. They asked me to help them, to cure it, to make them right again. But they had curious ideas about what they would be like when put right again. They asked me for changes. They were quite insistent. They wished, I suppose, for the attributes of beasts and creatures. I did my best to accommodate them, though I'm not sure the results are quite what they were hoping for.
Wondrous would like to do an insight check to see if
Sure.
I think he's telling the truth.
Okay.
But I also have a question for him. Wondrous would also.
Okay. Well, why don't you make the insight check first?
Okay. It's a 19.
19. It's real weird. He seems extremely, like, confident and self-assured that, like, he doesn't seem like he's lying, and he seems like he's honestly answering the question. And it seems very, like, confident, but you get a sort of, like, sense from this guy that, like, he's like, a 19 is a pretty high roll. He seems to be answering honestly because he doesn't feel ashamed of it. He's like, and not like doesn't seem ashamed of it, but like doesn't see why anyone would question whether or not what he did was the right thing to do.
Then the question that Wondrous was going to ask him is, how did you accomplish these changes? How were you able to do this?
Well, the early attempts were fatal to the subjects, but they kept insisting that I keep trying. It's almost as if some other madness afflicted them. Eventually, someone came to the Abbey, a young nobleman, who was able to provide me with some information, some lore, that helped me to accomplish what they wished. And we were able to succeed in these transformations.
Are the creatures that you transformed, is that who we're hearing now?
Yes, many of them have fallen to madness, and they must be kept within the abbey. For their own safety, they pose a danger to the townsfolk, and it is unlikely they would survive in the wild.
When you say that some sort of madness seemed to afflict them before you changed them, did the change make it worse? Or did the change bring on the madness?
It's hard to say. It does now seem to be hereditary. It has been many hundreds of years since that time.
Well, hold on a second. Is this guy a human, you said?
He looks human.
Hundreds of years? You don't look hundreds of years old.
Oh, I am more ancient than the land itself.
Can I roll an insight check on that?
Sure.
Let's see. That is a 14.
A 14, again, yeah, kind of the same. It's not quite as high as the 19 that, Wanderers had earlier. Yeah, it seems very forthcoming. No, like... Truly, you sense no deception in the abbot. He's just, like, straight up answering your questions, pretty much.
Huh.
So you're telling me that you've been here since before this was even Barovia?
No. I am many times older than this land, but I have not spent all my time here.
Oh, we too are not from Barovia. How did you get here?
He ponders for a second. I suppose I flew through the walls between the worlds.
Okay.
You seem confused.
You appear to be human, but I don't know of any human who can A, fly through the wall between worlds, and B, live to be hundreds of years old and not have aged at all, it seems.
Ah, well, your wizards perform such types of feats, do they not?
I suppose, but they very much age with time.
Yes, well... I am not a human. This form is less frightening to those who walk the earth, but if you promise to not be afraid, I suppose I can show you the truth.
I find this unsettling. But I am not afraid, and I would like to see your true form.
Very well. And this sort of like light kind of films off of him, and you see standing before you a rather curious creature. I don't know if I have a handout for this thing. I don't think I do. Maybe? I don't. That is unfortunate. I'm gonna just have to describe this thing to you. You see, so first off, anyone who wants to can make a religion check.
Yes.
I mean, I'll make one. All
right.
Wanderous got a 15.
Okay.
I got a 10.
I also got a 10.
We're back to 2 out of 3 again.
Oh.
Okay. Hang on. I actually can make a handout for this thing. We'll put it in everybody's.
Plot twist, this isn't even in the top 10 weirdest things we've seen since we came here.
Yes!
Like, brother,
Oh my God.
really? Like, we've seen some
my
shit,
God.
man.
Okay.
All right.
This is the
have to
island
try
of
way
Dr.
harder.
Moreau. This
There we
is
go.
exactly what this
You
is.
see,
Oh, yeah.
and
Please.
you see an angel, just a flat out fucking angel. Massive white wings. This thing is like somewhere between 10 and 15 feet tall. Extremely pale skin, like skin that basically looks like marble. Oh, you guys at home can't see. We got to go to the map. There it is. Sorry, guys.
You all the thirst in chat for the angel daddy here.
Yeah, sort of has like blonde hair flowing in a non-existent wind.
Well, this is not what I
And-
expected.
Let's see. Highest roll is a 15. Yeah, Wondrous. This is a pretty powerful angel. I think a 15 is high enough to know that this is a creature, an angel called a Deva, and it is one of the higher tiered angels. It's maybe not like the top of sort of the angel classifications, but it's pretty up there.
Say that word again.
Deva, D-E-V-A. You would know that like the most powerful angels are called solars. And then there's planetars. And then devas are like the next tier down from a planetar. So it's like a mid-tier angel.
Okay,
Basically.
in this world, being an angel, does it connote good or bad, or it could be either?
I mean, typically connotes good. Although, obviously, these are some pretty questionable circumstances.
Which leads me to...
Sorry. And also, as he
I
speaks to you now... Hang on.
Yep.
Hopefully
Seen
this
it coming.
works. And he says... This is as I am.
You are an angel. You are a diva. And I think Wanda.
I was making him
that-
pose because he's like a diva. That's, you know.
Sorry.
That's what Wanda says. I got nothing else.
Yes, that is what I am.
How can you be here? We've come to understand that celestials of any kind have a really, really hard time existing in Barovia.
It is strange. I came here long ago, when I suppose the evil's grip on this land was perhaps less complete. But I have not been able to leave.
So
I
we
wish
were
to
on the
free
other
this
side of
land
the
its
wall.
curse.
We share a common goal then. Maybe you can give us some answers that we need. We sought the help of some of the Vistani people, and their fortune teller, Madame Ava, has kind of pointed us in directions to help rid this land of Strahd. We've already found this book, and I feel like Ash would probably like kind of hold it up, that kind of tells Strahd's history. There's supposed to be a weapon in the west, and this is about as far west as we can go. And we're also looking for someone. She would also be of the Vistani, and I think that her name may be Esmeralda, right? Is that the word? Yeah.
Yes, she is here. In the Abbey.
Has she been a part of these changes?
No. She came to us much later than that. She waits here, thinking Strahd may come. I believe she plans to attack him, but I believe her plan will be futile.
Have you had any interaction with Strahd?
I have.
Can you share with us what that was?
Well, he came long ago. I realized that any attempt to slay him would be futile. The curse on this land, I don't believe he can die here. He told me he laments his curse and wishes to escape Barovia. I would like to find a cure for his malady. That cure, I believe, can be accomplished by love. I believe if Strahd could love again, he might end the curse. I have been working on finding him a bride, or I suppose making him one.
By making him one, you don't mean that any of these creatures we see here in the Abbey, do you?
No. I seek to make a creature that resembles his long-lost love. I have been restoring parts scavenged from the graves around these parts, giving them, I suppose you'd call it, a semblance of life. I've been teaching my creation etiquette, table manners. I think she is close to being ready. All she needs is a beautiful dress. Do you know where I might find one?
I have to tell you, I've not seen many dressmakers since we came to Barovia.
I see. Well, if you could aid me, I would be willing to aid you in return.
You would be willing to what?
Aid you in return. If you would help me find a gown fitting of a bride, I can raise a creature that has died, or perhaps bestow a healing touch upon you or someone you would see healed.
Okay, time out, buddy. Are you telling me that if we get you a dress for your creation to wear, that you can bring somebody back from the dead?
Yes.
Okay, Ash is
There
going
are
to completely...
some limitations.
Such as?
The spell would close mortal wounds on a creature, but cannot restore missing body parts. It is raise dead, not true resurrection that I can cast.
Well... Alright, I'm disinterested.
My healing
I'm just
touch
kidding.
can also cure any sort of malady, including some forms of madness. Though it has not been sufficient for these creatures here. Also, the creature can't have been dead for more than 10 days.
Okay, so yeah, Ash is gonna kind of turn away. Do you think that he could help the mage?
It might be worth a try. Honorable One, we have another problem, which is in order to come here and see you and ask to see Esmeralda, we have permission to be here only for one afternoon. And the burgomaster of this town said we must leave by nightfall and that we could never return. So we are so limited, although we are interested in what you are telling us. Is there some way to maneuver through that?
Yes, I can tell the burgomaster to let you in any time you would like to come back. He knows better than to defy me.
I am a simple cleric and have not had long to practice and learn my skills. At one point, I was a druid, but my goddess spoke with me. Therefore, it is very difficult for me to understand that which you say. You are saying that with the proper garment, does not need to be magical? You could use it to clothe something that you would, a creature, possibly a human, or what you could reconstruct from humans, and you could create someone that Strahd would love?
I see your confusion. Come with me. And he sort of walks back into the abbey door that he came out of.
Ash? Do I follow him?
I mean, if Esmeralda's here, we, at the very least, I think that it's worth following them for that.
All right.
Also, assuming that we're going to follow him, I feel like since we're hanging back, I also feel like we should ask about this pool blessed by the White Sun. Even if this angel's plan could possibly work, who am I to, second guess that? I think that it's extremely wise that we still find all of our items and be ready to march on Strahd as well, because obviously I don't see that working. But then it makes you think, like, how early if it was as simple as letting Strahd love someone, if it was as simple as that, just think about how early on we could have been done with that, right? Because when we first came here, that's who he was after. He was after Arena, because allegedly she looked like somebody he had loved or some nonsense.
Ash, please don't say that to that creature. I know I called him Honorable One, but I do not know.
I
The
fully
last
agree.
person he needs to know about is Irina.
I agree.
I think we must move forth, but we must be very careful. And Wanderers is, as he's saying that, heading for the door.
Okay. Yeah, you guys head over to the door.
This is a dude trying to send us on a fetch quest for a freaking dress. I swear to God.
Is there a Target in this town?
Yeah.
It's say yes to the dress, but it's the extreme edition.
Oh my God. Okay.
Do I not have a handout for this person again?
The people in chat is weirded out as Bonus Mom is.
Also,
Don't
while he's
trust
looking
the
for
flying
handouts.
pixel.
While he's looking for handouts, can we just
Okay.
talk
Yeah,
about
there's not
legit?
one.
That was like not even the top 10 list of weirdest stuff we've seen in this campaign. I was like, if you promise not to freak out. Whatever, man. You're good. We're doing good. Okay, sorry.
Pam mentions David's Bridal, but I think they've all gone out of business.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. I don't. This is another one that I don't really have a good. Or do I? Maybe. No, I don't really have a good portrait for this. So we'll just have to rely on our. We will just have to rely on our theater of the mind. So you enter this main hall through the door. Gentle sounding music trickles down from above, played by some unseen player. The ground floor is one large 50-foot square room with arched leaded glass windows. A cauldron sits on an iron rack above a hearth, above a fire in the hearth, while above the fireplace mantel hangs a golden disc engraved with the symbol of the sun. In one corner, a wooden staircase climbs to an upper level, while in the opposite corner, a stone staircase descends into darkness. Several chairs surround a wooden table that stretches nearly the length of the room. Here in the center. Wooden dishware and gold candelabras are neatly arranged on the table, standing behind which is a young woman with alabaster skin dressed in a torn and soiled red gown. Her auburn hair is neatly bundled so as not to touch her soft shoulders. She seems to be lost in her own thoughts. The abbot approaches and gently takes the woman by her hand. And he says, "This is Basilka."
Wondrous moves closer and looks at her. I mean, he doesn't even try to hide it. He's just staring at her and looking just to try and figure out, is this the creature he has supposedly made from a whole bunch of dead people?
Yeah, and if you look, I'm going to just blow her size up a little bit so you can kind of see her.
Oh, Jesus.
She's not gigantic, but just so people can see, as you look, you see that, like, it does appear to be stitched together from, like, corpse parts, basically. Anyone who wants to can make an Arcana check here.
Yeah, I'll make one.
I'm really not going to bother. I'm
I'm
not my strong suit.
I'm going to roll one for sure.
That's 23.
You guys just tell me everything I need to know. I don't know about this wibbly wobbly magic nonsense. I'm just trying to stab.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it to you on the 20 plus roll. So with a 23, PETA, you recognize this because you've been like listening and hearing about stories about powerful wizards for a long time. In trying to search down the guy you're looking for. This is undeniably a creature called a flesh golem. Basically, it is like it's like Frankenstein, except this one is a normal-sized woman instead of like a giant hulking creature. A lot of times, wizards make these as like big hulking bodyguards to do like physical work for them or to protect them. But clearly, the abbot is creating this creature to try to make some sort of a bride for Strahd for some reason. So
Okay. I think I would turn back to Ash since we haven't really gone in super far into the room. And just be like, I'm pretty sure that this is a flesh golem. Just like whisper it.
I think it's going to take more than a dress to really sell this to Strahd.
I agree.
And as she is introduced, the woman sort of like curtsies to you. And then sort of like looks over at the angel, which is much, much taller than she is, sort of questioningly, and he kind of like smiles at her and nods, seemingly to say that was a good curtsy.
Oh no.
Wondrous nods his head a little bit and steps back. Totally confused and in over his head.
Forgive me for asking, but I just fail to see in what context we feel like Strahd would be able to fall in love with this creature.
Love is mysterious, is it not?
You really just shut down my entire argument, I suppose. I mean, is the plan to just show up to the castle after we've retrieved a dress and be like, this is, what would you say your name was?
Vasilka.
Is that with a B or a V?
V.
Vasuka. Got it. Okay, cool. You got to run me through this. I don't understand. I really don't.
Yes. Pretty much. That's you got it. First try. Well
First
done.
try.
Your language is so trendy for one who is so old.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks. But I am not a dog. I am an angel.
No cap.
Also, the thing about old dogs may not really be true. Sometimes those old sayings, aren't as true as they seem like they're supposed to be.
God.
Those idioms you have, they are curious, I believe.
This is the most aloof person that we've met so far. I swear to God.
100%.
I take it back. He definitely breaks top in.
Angelic One, where is Esmeralda?
She is upstairs.
May we see her and meet her?
Sure. Vasilka, would you show our friends? And Vasilka turns to the abbot and curtsies deeply to him and begins to come around the table.
And over to the party, we're just holding up scorecards.
And at this point, the abbot, I think, also turns back into his regular abbot form.
Yeah.
Goes back into his, glamour, as it were. And sits down at the table and begins doing something. It's hard to say what exactly.
Probably building a little zombie dog to go with the zombie bride.
And Vasilka begins to lead you guys up the stairs.
Wanderous will follow.
I'm gonna just grab you guys all at once.
Oh boy.
We have to go to a different page. Okay.
Straight up just Blue's Clues. Jump to the next page.
I feel like the two maps that they gave me, don't exactly match up. North and south, like they're turned different, and so it's a little weird to try to figure out exactly which one of these things you guys are supposed to come out of. They didn't overlay them, I think, in the proper way here, but that's okay.
Gosh, well, they have such a straight beat on all the rest of this. That's just amazing.
Well, I mean, they being Wizards of the Coast and Roll20 here. Okay. So you guys are brought to the second floor, where you come up into a room above the main hall. So those wooden stairs climb 20 feet to a loft with a pitched roof and a door in the center of the south wall. Unlit lanterns hang from the rafters, and a rope dangles from a bronze bell lodged in the belfry 30 feet overhead. So you're basically up in this big kind of tower. The room is filled with the sound of beautiful music, a melody so enchanting it adds a bit of much-needed warmth to the otherwise freezing room. A black shroud covers a humanoid shape lying on a wooden table. The music does nothing to stir it. A cot heaped with fur rests in the northeast corner, surrounded by empty wine bottles. An oil lamp burns atop a table nearby, silhouetting a squat creature with 2 heads. It sits on the edge of the cot with a viol between its legs, sort of a cello-looking thing. With a crustacean claw-like appendage, it grasps the neck of the instrument. No, it grasps the bow of the instrument. There's no way you could finger.
How in the world you go?
Listen, this is from whoever wrote this adventure, not knowing how instruments work. With its humanoid hand, it grasps the neck, and it has a bow in a crab claw.
That would have really ruined my immersion. If
I know. I was like, listen, somebody tweet at Wizards of the Coast for me. Tell him Pixel has something to say.
Hey, you remember that crab trying to play
a crab? You cannot play a viol with a crab claw. You could do flat bar chords, and that's it. That's it. Okay. Where is this guy? What's his name? Colin? We have a... Okay.
His name is Colin?
Yes,
that's
his
the
name
best
is Colin.
name for a crab creature.
Also, he has one normal head, and then like a weird little baby head with scales on it. And the crab claw, and like a barefoot.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Poor guy.
Also, he has some like goat horns on his big head.
Lovely.
Well, sure he does.
Yeah.
Why
not?
But there's no Esmeralda standing in the room.
Not in this room, no.
What is that? If you said I missed it, what is that inside the dotted lines?
Inside the dotted, I think that's maybe a rope that that's like this is a belfry. So like up above you is a bell, and I think that weird little symbol in the dotted lines is a rope that's hanging down from which a person could ring the bell if they wanted.
Okay. Wanderous is near the close of the top of the stairs. I think he moves up beside the dear lady. Is there any movement around the shroud?
No, the shroud does not move.
I think Wanderous is going to say to Vasilka, "Where is Esmeralda?"
Oh, she's in the other wing. She sort of points at the door leading outside.
All right.
Thank you.
Vasilka looks over and says, "Sorry, Colin, just passing through." And
you know what? I love it here. Honestly, this is the best place we've visited so far.
And sort of heads open and opens the door to the south.
Yeah, that's...
Alrighty then, let's go.
And Colin just sort of like grunts and then goes back to playing like mournful sounding songs on the cello.
Okay, so Wanderous follows where she went. So she went out here?
Yeah. She went out. So she goes out and you can see...
she went out here. Okay.
Yeah. You can see that she comes out here onto what look like... I might need to add... Hang on. Yeah, you can't really see a lot very well. Okay, 1 second, guys. I have to add some lights.
Okay, and while you're 1 seconding, honestly, I need to step away just for a minute.
Okay. Okay, this has a bunch of light stuff on it that it doesn't need to have. So hang on, guys. Let me...
This episode of Curse of Strahd has been brought to you by St. Markovia's wayward home for...
Did I not say at the very beginning of this that this episode was brought to you by Horrors Beyond Comprehension present the Abbey of St. Markovia?
You said all that in like 3 seconds, so I don't remember.
You gotta pay clues. You gotta pay attention.
Not only did you say that in a really quick succession, you also said it in an accent, lest we forget.
Listen.
So, oh my god.
You tell me, okay?
I am telling you. I'm telling you to listen. Okay. Yeah, so if you guys want to move out here.
Yep.
and follow along. We'll just drag everybody. And it's pretty... I'm just going to take you... It's pretty straightforward. She leads you around the battlements to the other... past the sort of like scarecrows, to this other doorway in the southern wall, kind of here. And she kind of like knocks on the door, like a kind of a thing. And you hear from inside of it, a female voice that says, "Who is it?" And the voice says, the flesh golem says, "It is Vasilka. The abbot has bid me bring you, we have a visitors looking for you." And you hear some
real hard
commotion on the other side of the door, which eventually opens to reveal a small chamber containing Esmeralda, of whom I do have a picture.
Hey, opa.
Which I probably should have made my own for this, but I didn't. So, apologies.
I'm sure it's great.
I can't wait.
Containing Esmeralda. You see a woman with sort of like tan skin and brown hair. She appears to have a boot and a kind of like prosthetic leg.
Right.
Made out of some sort of arcane machinery. And she's not openly holding that sword and that axe, but she does have several violent implements at her disposal, it would seem.
Ash is in love.
Yeah, so she sort of gestures and says, "Oh, come in." And Vasilka leads the way into the room. And you guys see that this room basically has some bunk beds in the upper corner here that are nearly disintegrating with age, lying in heaps along the walls in this rather nasty, moldy 30-foot square room.
Huh.
Cozy.
And she turns to Vasilka and says, "Well, thank you. I suppose you can tell the abbot you've brought them to me, if you don't mind." And Vasilka sort of like curtsies again and makes her way back out. And Esmeralda behind her goes and closes the door, which I'm not going to put the light back in for the door. But Vasilka goes off doing whatever it is that she does. And Esmeralda, after she closes the door, comes back across the room and sort of turns to look at all of you, who appear to be standing by the walls, doing just awkwardly staring at her, and says, "Well, okay, right, out with it. Who are you? What do you want? How do you know about me?"
That is a very long story. Where I think we should start first is I am Ash, and these are my companions, Wondrous, PETA, and Cass. I think the short answer is we ran into your mentor, and he told us about you.
Oh, really?
And along with a fortune that we received, we kind of pieced together that you would be here, and here you are.
Well, where is the miserable old cuss?
He is in a tower between here and Valaki.
Son of a bitch, that's the first place I went. Well, so be it. So I suppose you've realized it too, yes?
What? I'm very confused. What can you tell us about this place? I am Wondrous. It is a pleasure to meet you. What is going on here?
The abbot is a fucking lunatic's what's going on here.
Can confirm.
But is he a good lunatic or a bad lunatic?
I suppose I don't know how to answer that. I've never conceived of the possibility that there could be such a thing as a good lunatic.
Uh-huh.
Big fella has a.
I don't think he's
habit of asking
evil.
those kind of questions.
He is still an angel, but, well, At the very least, he is deeply misguided.
Yes, I think so.
So,
And can we still, where we are, hear the screams and things?
probably distantly, I would think.
We have joined together through circumstances and are trying to get out of Barovia, but also to help in the fight against Strahd. We had a Vistani lady give us a card reading and some clues as to how we could gather resources that could help us overcome or nullify Strahd. That has led us to you. Did I get that right, Ash?
Yep, right on the money.
I see. Well, I certainly could use with some more allies. My plan had been to wait for Strahd to show up to pick up this bride, I suppose. The Abbot has some means of summoning him, I guess. I'm not really sure. Maybe just letters? I don't know. But I presumed he would show up here eventually, so I've been planning to just sort of ambush him when he gets here, you know. Holy water, stakes, the whole 9 yards.
really Good.
Go ahead, somebody else.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
We have had occasion to be in Strahd's presence now 2 or 3 or 4 times. The last time, there was a powerful wizard with us and a friend, a wizard who is our friend and is temporarily lost to us because Strahd has kidnapped him and enchanted him to believe that Strahd is his friend. What was apparent from that battle is that we were not strong enough, even with 2 additional wizards. We didn't have the guy in the cowboy hat with us. So, it is highly unlikely that you will be able to defeat him. And unless you can show us some amazing ability that you have, I do not believe that even the 5 of us would be strong enough to overtake Strahd.
Well, and that's not to mention that we have several sources now that have all but confirmed that the only way to take him out is to take out his source of power first, and or kill him in his where he rests, right?
Yes, there is something in his castle. The wizard told us that Strahd is strongest in his castle, but must be defeated there?
Something like that.
Well, fuck.
Indeed.
You fought Strahd several times, no shit.
Well, we have encountered him. I guess we
What, like
attempted
sexually?
to fight him.
You keep saying
mean,
encountered, it begs the question.
Bro, I
Help me out
wish
here,
I
you
could
help
have.
me understand.
He whipped our asses and actually let us go as a joke.
What, like sexually? Same question, still applies.
Oh,
okay.
I wish.
Oh, so he
Wanderous
was-
looks at
he's-
Ash
he was
because he has
toying
no
with you.
clue what she's talking about.
Oh God. Okay, so no. Let's just say that we have met with him several times, and that he could have killed us at any moment. That is obviously the case. And like Wondrous here was saying, even with a very, very powerful wizard and his apprentice, we barely stood our ground and ended up losing one of our party in the process of that encounter. Non-sexual encounter.
I see. That does make more sense. Well, first things first, my condolences for your friend.
Well, he's not gone. He's just away.
Right. Sure.
He's at Strahd's castle.
Yes, I surmised as much. Second, it's clear to me now that my plan was shit, and so I suppose I may as well just throw in with whatever you have going on.
Well, we do have some clues about resources we can get that will make us stronger.
Excellent. Well, out with it. What you got?
One of the items that the Vistani fortune teller led us to was this book, which is kind of a biography of sort, autobiography. Or that's the word I was looking for, I think. But anyway, Strahd wrote this, and it kind of like talks about his time before he was what he is now. We're actually here now, not only looking for you, as it turns out. We suspect that another item on our list is here in Kretsk as well. A sword in a pool blessed by the white sun, something like that. Does any of that sound familiar?
Do you just show her the book, or do you let her read it? What do you do?
I mean, if she goes to take it, she's more than welcome to it. I just.
So yeah, she sort of grabs the book and sort of flips it open, and after a few moments says, "My God, he has delusions of grandeur, doesn't he? Just listen to this drivel. I am the ancient. I am the land. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of the... What a fucking wanker.
You mean that in a sexual way?
I mean, honestly, probably.
Oof.
He seems so self-absorbed,
Well
I
done.
doubt he could perform with anyone else. Probably has a mirror in his room.
Well done.
Although I don't know what good it was doing. He doesn't have a reflection. That's probably that's probably the tragedy of which he speaks in these pages. Anyway, okay, wait, sorry. Who white sun? What? Tell me again. What was that now?
Okay. One of the not only did we find you here, which we were told we would, but also the Vistani fortune teller said something about a pool blessed by the white sun. It tells a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight, and it's supposed to be here in the west, in a pool blessed by the light of the white sun. This is about as far west as we could come. We figured maybe two birds, one stone. We find you, and maybe somebody here's heard about this pool.
Do you have something against birds?
I mean, I don't particularly like them, but wouldn't say I have something against them.
Just like throwing rocks at birds. Okay. Well, sorry, not important. Focusing on the wrong thing. Rickton always said that was a bit of a problem of mine. Right, so maybe there is a place in town. What's it called? I think it's called the Shrine of the White Sun, maybe? Yeah, Shrine of the White Sun. That sounds sort of like what you're talking about. I think there's a pool of water there. So
to the Incredibles meme. Coincidence? I think not.
Well, yeah, this place sucks. I don't like being here. I was only here because I thought Strahd would eventually show up, but if we have other ways to kick his teeth in, I say we should get the fuck out of here.
That
I
does
would
lead me.
certainly agree. It's awful, the people that are here and seem so damaged. Have you had occasion to see or be around any of them?
I mean, there are a couple of them that sort of seem put together enough to act as sort of servants to the place, but most of them have to be locked up, or they'll run wild and mad and tear off into the woods and get eaten by werewolves or something. So, like I said, it's not great here. And I mostly am choosing not to worry about things I can't fix.
Then I hope that we would leave, Ash. Not leave Ash, that we would leave, comma, Ash.
Why would you leave me? Okay. So, and I'm 100%. This angel is completely off of his rocker. But there are a couple things that I would like to point out. First off, I would like to at least check out this shrine before we leave. For sure. But also, we should probably talk about the angel's offer. I think he's absolutely insane, and I cannot fathom an instance where this plan of his is going to work, right? I don't see him presenting this golem or whatever to Strahd, and then all of a sudden he's just not who he is anymore. Crazier things have happened, and they did have a point. Love does weird things, but chances of Strahd loving that thing is astronomically low.
But
However,
he did say,
yeah, I was going to say he offered to raise somebody from the dead or cure madness. We know, obviously, unfortunately, he was very specific, and it doesn't seem like Thorin has any sort of chance. We won't have a chance with that. But the Mad Mage, we could turn him into just the mage if that would work. And that would really solidify an allegiance, if you know what I mean. So
well,
I don't know where we're going to get a dress, but if we could find something that they find acceptable, then we could help Onyx's mentor in the same, swing here.
I suppose, yes. I'm all for adding a powerful wizard to the mix. That sounds like a great idea. Not sarcasm, I know, sorry, it might be unclear. Truly, actually does sound like a great idea. And I don't know, I would say maybe we can ask the villagers, they might know. People here get married, and they typically wear dresses when they do. So somebody in this valley is making wedding dresses, or has them stored somewhere, or something. Might have to do a bit of digging. I think we can find one, but I would say asking around is probably the place to start. And sure, if it's not too far out of the way, and can gain us a powerful ally who's, got his ass more firmly planted back on whatever rocker he rocked in on, that sounds like a good plan to me.
I must agree with this. Getting the mage is probably top priority for us.
Yes. Furthermore, I'm not nearly as proficient a spellcaster as it seems Strahd and your sort of rocker challenged friend are, but I do have a bit of ability of my own that I can bring to the party. So that's I can cast invisibility, lightning bolt, magic circle, shield, some things of that nature. So also she sort of like points at the rapier and the axe that are sort of hanging off her belt. She says, "Not just for show. I do know how to use these."
Is there? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Is there a torch within 10 feet of me?
A torch within 10 feet. There would have to be some sort of like, it probably hasn't been used because like right now light is coming in through these windows that are kind of like, the windows here are like slightly opaque glass, so they let light in, but it's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen like misted over windows where it like lets light in, but you can't really see out. So that's kind of what's here. But there would be some sort of like, little oil lamp or something hanging about that probably isn't lit at this time of day, but there would be something you could theoretically light if you are about to stunt.
Yes, I'm gonna use precipitation to light that lamp. Just kind of like as a snap, and be like, as do I, milady.
And she sort of like licks a finger and makes the gesture of putting a candle out and puts it out with her prestidigitation and says, "Excellent." Well, this place smells like mold and there's weird shit screaming in the walls, so perhaps, shall we?
We shall.
Yeah, on our way out, I also would like to maybe again, I know that this angel isn't exactly all there, but I would also like to maybe kind of ask him about the shrine as well. But yeah, I'm with you. Let's get the down there.
Great. Okay, well, from that, I can just bring you back over to the other... I mean, actually, before I do that, let me copy Esmeralda. Stand by, everyone. Okay. And I will just put you all back in the main hall over here. We'll make that your actual HP. Yeah, you come back in. Vasilka is over with the abbot. He appears to be like teaching her which fork to use or whatever during a like multiple course meal. And he turns and looks at the rest of you, and now that he's in his human form again, his voice is more normal like it was before. And he says, "Ah, I see you have found her."
Yes, thank you. This was very, very helpful. We actually had a couple of questions for you before we took off.
Sorry, before you, real quick, bonus mom, if you don't have DM inspiration, take it for the quip earlier. I forgot. I meant to do that in the moment, but I forgot. Anyway, okay. Ash, questions.
You said that you would strike a bargain with us if we could retrieve a dress for Vasilka. Yes?
Yes.
If we were to bring you a dress to your liking, you could cure madness in somebody?
Several people, probably.
And just as a confirmation, because I have to ask, that won't work for any of the people here.
Richard, I think, sorry, real quick. Richard, I think Omega already has inspiration. I think everybody's topped up on inspiration at the moment.
I currently do as of right now, but thank you. I appreciate it.
And I don't think anyone's down it, so if you'll...
Got it.
Throw those back there. Also, I really quickly need to scooch this over a smidge. Okay. All right. Sorry, ask that question again. You were clarifying.
The curing the madness does not extend to anybody in your... And Ash, Jesus. Ash is going to use this word very tentatively. The people under your care, none of them can be fixed with what you can do.
Unfortunately not.
Okay. Well, we do just so happen to have a mage friend who is afflicted with what we believe to be madness, in at least somewhat similar to what's going on here. So we'd like to take you up on that offer.
Would you be willing to go to him, because we might have trouble getting him here?
Once you deliver the dress, the means of delivering Vasilka to him will be my problem, as you folks put it. Oh, you mean your friend who needs help? Oh, I misunderstood. I suppose that's fine. I can leave. Maybe this will be a test for you, Vasilka, if you can manage the place in my absence for a few hours while I fly across Barovia to deliver some healing.
Okay, excellent. A couple more questions for you, and then we'll get on this. Are there any specifications that you're looking for in this dress? Obviously, it has to be something semi-special. Otherwise, I'm sure you would have already have accumulated it.
Yes, I'm looking for a beautiful wedding dress.
So specifically a wedding gown. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Every bride should have a special dress on her special day.
You know what, buddy? I think you're right. One last question for you before we go. What do you know of the Shrine of the White Sun?
The Shrine of the White Sun. It is blessed by the Morning Lord.
Love that guy.
Oop, hang on. That's not what I want. I visit it every few days or so.
Is that who you're an angel under? The Morning Lord, or is that
Of course.
Got it.
There is a gazebo there and a pool of water, which, on the days that the sun is able to shine, reflects the sunlight most beautifully.
How often does the sun shine on that pool?
Every few days or so, I suppose.
And that's here in Kretsk, correct?
Yes, it's at the north end of town.
Okay.
Honorable One, we told you earlier that we were only given a limited amount of time here, and that if we left, we could never return. And you said you could change it, you could take care of it. When we leave here, the burgomaster, to search for the dress, the burgomaster is going to most likely try to make us leave, possibly even arrest us and throw us out. Do you have anything that you can give us, or anything that we could show the burgomaster that we are trying to help you with something, so that we can remain until the sun shines across the pool, or until we find the most beautiful dress?
Certainly. One moment, please. And he sort of like takes out a sheaf of parchment and begins to scrawl a little note on it, which he folds over. He doesn't like seal it or anything, but he folds it over and hands it to you and says, "This should explain."
Thank you so much. If I might ask just one more question. The creature in the courtyard attached to the pole, is there anything that could help it?
If there was anything that I knew of, rest assured I would have done it.
I see. Thank you. And thank you for sharing your true form with us.
Yes, I suppose thank you for not descending into madness and clawing out your eyes of the beauty of my visage.
Nudges Esmeralda.
Yes.
Remember that wankery?
Yeah, Esmeralda is also like standing with her arms folded by the door, like tapping her foot, just like waiting for this to end.
Okay, let's go say yes to the dress, huh? Let's do it.
Okay, yeah, you guys head out, and Esmeralda will confidently lead you to the gate. It seems like she pretty much has the run of the place and can kind of come and go as she pleases, and leads you back to the village of Kretsk.
While we're
yay.
walking down this big switchback trail here, I did kind of want to strike up another small conversation.
Okay.
When we came into town, Cass here kind of, I think, poked at the wrong splinter with the burgomaster. Has something happened to the children around here? Do you know of?
Well, I've been holed up in the Abbey for a few days now. So I don't know of anything. I know the burgomaster had several children, and I think he had 4 children, and 3 of them had died, as far as I know. but that was several days ago before I, that's been happening for years, I suppose, to them, so I don't know. But I thought he had still one living son, I guess, when I got here. I don't know.
Gotcha. I was just curious. It seemed to be a real touchy subject.
Weird. She just sort of shrugs. And from here, you can actually see there is a pool of water in the north side of town that you can kind of see as you look down. And
what do you guys think? Should we go to the shrine first or the dress first?
I guess maybe the shrine, or I guess like where, because we don't know where the dresses are, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, so Esmeralda just suggested that you ask the townsfolk where they find a wedding dress when they go to get married. And
I feel like the Burgermeister is going to find us as it deepens into evening.
Yeah,
That's okay. We got a note from Dad. It'll be fine.
So maybe one thing will lead to another, and we can show the note and tell them what we need and find out what they know about the Abbey.
Fair enough. So shrine first, we think?
Yes.
All right, you guys begin heading down the way, and coming down into the town, and as you come back to the town, you sort of do see this like entourage of guards that's kind of like waiting at the bottom of the hill as you guys come back, and they seem inclined to just like sort of, like lead you back to the main gate, to the way out of town. So if you want to go some other direction, you're either going to have to like make a break for it or talk to them or something.
I'm sorry, fellas, but slight change of plans.
What do you mean? You came, you went to the Abbey, you leave now.
No.
They sort of like start reaching for their like weapons and stuff. Explain.
The abbot has requested our assistance on a matter.
You have proof of this?
Who has the note? Do I have the note?
I think you were the one that grabbed it.
Yeah, you're the one that asked for it. I just assumed.
So Wanderous takes out the scroll and in a polite way, doesn't let go of it, but opens it so that the guard can see it.
Yeah, the guard sort of like looks at it and blanches and says, all right, well, we will have to have the Burgomaster look at this. Wait here. And he sort of like snaps his fingers and one of the other guards runs off. And the Burgomaster comes back in a minute. And I think I might actually have a handout for this guy. Now that I think about it. So I don't know how I described him last time, but I think he actually has... Yeah, he actually has a handout. So, yeah, he is a dark-skinned, bald man with sort of gray hair, wearing sort of fine noble's clothes. And he comes up and says, "What is this now? They say the abbot..." And he sort of comes up and looks at the note. Does anyone read the note in Wanderous' hands, or do you just like let the Baron or let the Burgomaster read it?
I mean, I want to know what it says.
I mean, you have like a few minutes where you could read the note while he's...
That's, yeah.
Yes,
I feel like I probably,
I'm willing to read it out loud, but I don't know
Okay.
for Wanderous to read it, but I don't know
Yeah.
what it says. If it's in
Yeah.
a language Wanderous knows.
Sure. Hang on, I'm going to type it out for you. Okay, there you go.
Wanderous reads,
Yeah.
Hail and well met, my son Burgermeister Kreskov. These adventurers have been brought to me by the Almighty Morning Lord and are set out upon a task given to them by the Divine. Do not interfere with their quest and give them all leave of your domain and whatever succor you possess. Fail in your duty to our Lord, and I swear by my rights as the hand of God that I shall lay waste to this pigsty in which you people live and salt the earth that houses your pitiful bones. Yours in the light of our Holy Father, the Abbot.
Oh, sweet hell.
And so, upon reading this, you see that the Burgomaster blanches significantly, takes just like a deep shuddering breath, and snaps his fingers, and sort of like makes a motion, and the guards disband. And he turns to you and says, "Please, make yourselves at home." And then he turns and walks off into town.
Honorable sir. Does Wanderous manage to stop him?
No,
Okay.
definitely not. Like, he is running. He's like scurrying away. Wants nothing to do with this.
Well, shall we head for the pool?
Esmeralda sort of like looks around and says, "Holy shit." I mean, that was intense, right?
Anybody else get that vibe off of that?
Wow.
Yeah, in any case, so you guys head through the town, and the town is like kind of, I don't know if I described it on the way in, but it's pretty much just a scattering of pretty humble wooden cottages. There are trees growing inside the walls of the town. It's not like fully cleared and it's mostly village. It's actually mostly trees with random, little homesteads. A lot of the villagers have little vegetable gardens. They seem to, you can smell wood smoke burning coming out of like the chimneys of various homes. You can see little pens for chickens and pigs. You see the occasional cow or mule, but you don't see any horses. You also don't see any inns or taverns in the town.
Or Target stores.
Definitely no David's Bridal here. But anyway, you make your way up to the pool in question. And even under the gray skies, the pool at the north end of the village shimmers and sparkles. Near the shore sits an old gazebo on the verge of collapse. A wooden statue of a mournful, bare-chested man with paint chipped and faded stands in the gazebo with its arms outstretched as though waiting to be embraced.
Huh. Okay. Can I go investigate the statue?
Sure, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Investigation. And I got a natural 20, 24.
Okay. Yeah, so you see this gazebo. This gazebo is that has the statue in it. The whole thing is like extremely frail. You get the sense that like a strong wind would knock this thing over. It appears to be somewhat protected from the elements by the surrounding trees, walls, and cliffs, but like it is damn old. The statue does seem to be a depiction of the Morning Lord, positioned so that he is reaching towards the east, where the dawn comes. And there is a pool with sparkling water nearby. which is obviously the part of the shrine. But it's like, it's weird. The water sparkles, but the sunlight isn't like, this is a day where you really kind of can't see the sun that well. So it's like,
Gotcha.
something kind of wacky happening there. And then there's this extremely sort of frail gazebo with this statue in it. Even on a nat 20, you don't like, as you like look at it, like if the statue doesn't move. It's it's like fixed to the gazebo. There's no like hidden compartments or anything that you can find.
Yeah.
Oh, I also need to change the background stuff. Sorry.
I have a really bad feeling that this thing's in the water.
I do too at this point.
What I think is that we are here at the wrong time of day,
You think it should be morning time?
which begs the fact that we might have to stay overnight. And in this small village, it might be difficult to find a place to be inside, and yet I feel as though we would need to be inside, and I also don't think the Abbey is someplace we want to spend the night. Although, Esmeralda, how has it been for you to... Have you been in the Abbey the whole time?
I have been in the Abbey for several days now. I've been in Barovia for quite some time looking for Van Richten. But once I snuck into Kretsk over the walls in the dead of night and made my way to the Abbey, and then, met the abbot and his little friend, and all of his lovely wards, and surmised that it's possible Strahd would eventually come there. So I've been staying there for a little while now. I mean, it's not a great place to sleep, but it's free. So make of it what you will. I mean, we might as well search as much as we can here now, and then if we can't find it, we may, try something to do with the...
That's what I was thinking. Since we're here now, it would be worth searching around until we're, satisfied that we've done everything we could, and then
Exactly.
Then move on. I personally would like to investigate specifically the pool.
Okay. Hang on, I'm just like putting some stuff
Yep, you're
off
good.
of the map layer because you guys have been to a bunch of this stuff.
Also, kind of a weird question: how high is the gazebo, like up off the ground? And like, what is it? Is it like got like lattice, and you can tell that there's like an underneath, or is it like just straight up board? I'm asking a lot of questions at the same time. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. So the gazebo is like probably 1 or 2 steps up off the ground. So just imagine like a gazebo, like it is your kind of standard wooden gazebo. What was the other question you asked me about it?
Is it like a solid platform, or is it like just raised up and there is like an underneath that you could theoretically get up underneath?
So yeah, you can see that it's like a wooden platform that like it is raised up, but it's not like a lattice work that it's sitting on. It's like sitting on boards. But it does look like there is an underneath to it, but there wouldn't be any way to get there without like prying some of the boards away.
Well, I don't think that we're above that currently, but maybe I wanted to investigate the pool specifically.
Sure.
First.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Investigation.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And also kind of describe the manner in which you are investigating. Like, are you touching the pool, drinking the pool, swimming in the pool, looking at the pool, smelling the pool? Like what? Like how does Ash do this?
Well, first I'm going to burn my inspiration because I can do better than that. Hopefully.
It worked. We can pop it off. Yes.
Okay, this time it was a 19.
19.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I think the two specific things that you said that Ash would do is probably first would kind of like want to look around the bank. Let's see if there's anything interesting. Like, I don't know exactly what I'd be. Just something that is there.
Anything that sticks out.
Prints. Yeah. And then I do also think that Ash would probably touch it because it is kind of like weird that it's sparkly on a day.
Yeah. So you kind of like go around and look at the edge of the pool and at like the bank of the water and stuff. You can tell each one of these squares on the grid of the map, which you guys can see but the audience really can't, is about 50 feet across, right? So like from one side to the other, this thing is only about 100 feet across and it's maybe 30 feet wide in the middle. So you can kind of like see the whole pool. It's not very deep. It doesn't, it probably gets down to up to maybe like shin deep at the deepest. You don't really see anything in particular that stands out to you just like in it as just from looking at it. When you touch the water, it feels great. Honestly, it's like the best. It like tingles a little bit. It's like the best feeling water you've ever touched in your life. This water is dope. It's great water.
Quality H2O.
High quality H2O.
Interesting. And you
Do you share that with anybody, or do you just?
Yeah, I guess Ash probably says, "Guys, come fill this water. Just touch it."
Wanderers would certainly do that. He's going to walk over to the water, and he is going to lean over and put his hands in the water.
Yeah, I mean, you have the same experience. The water feels great. Tingles a little bit. Great water. It's like cool, but not too not like freezing.
Do you guys think this is like magic or something?
Oh. Do you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and do an Arcana check, I think, on the water.
Okay.
Which feels weird to say, but
sure.
Yeah.
Let it rip.
I'm gonna do that. That's 15 on the Arcana check.
Yeah. So, and also in what, like, are you also touching the water? Like, who's touching the water?
Well, I touched it.
I think I'm just gonna look at it and just kind of like, I mean, I will probably like get on like my knees and like kind of look at it closer, but I won't touch it.
Yeah, so
I don't trust them yet.
Yeah, on a 15, I feel like not touching the water and feeling whatever your friends are feeling, probably something magical is happening, but it's hard to say exactly without that like firsthand experience.
Okay, do you share that?
Yeah, I think I would. I'm like, I think there is something magical. I just don't want to end up getting myself into trouble, even more so than what I already have.
Okay, Wanderous nods his head in understanding, and because he is a furbolg, he has Detect Magic always prepared, so he is going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Yeah, and the you get the water is magical, and it has a sort of weak-ish abjurative sort of school of magic. Some sort of magical effect that is abjuration based.
Okay, and now out of character, this is Bonus Mom, and I never keep up with those things. So what is abjuration? What is
abjuration? Is a school of magic that has to do with like warding or shielding. It could also be on an effect that would like get rid of a status condition. So like lesser and greater restoration are probably abjuration, but also is shield, or so is like wall of force. There's like there's a bunch of effects that it could be. Banishment, a lot of different stuff that like is designed to protect or to make things go away, or to even to some extent cure, not cure like damage, but like abjure negative effects or protect from negative magic. That would all be abjuration based.
Okay, the Wanderers is going to say to his compatriots, I think that this is magic and it's abjuration, and Wanderers is going to step into the pool.
Okay. Your feet tingle.
Okay. I'm going to walk out a ways and I'm going to look down into the water. Do I see anything anywhere as I look all around me?
Nope, it is sparkly. And your feet are tingling. Probably up to your shins are tingling now. I mean, you're real tall, so maybe it's like your ankles.
Okay. Do I feel any changes other than the tinkling, that I'm either losing something or gaining something?
No, you don't think that just like whatever this effect is does not appear to be passed or caused by touching the water.
Okay, then I would share that with everyone, and having walked out where I can look further around and see nothing, I would say I don't see anything in the water, but then I don't think we're here at the right time, perhaps. We may have to wait until morning.
I'll probably have a water skin, right? Probably.
Yeah, you would all of you would have water skins in your adventuring packs.
Well, whatever's in my water skin, I'm gonna dump out and fill up with this stuff.
Sure.
Wanderers is going to see what you do, and he's going to do the same thing. And he's going to step back out of the water after he does it. And he's going to be wet and soggy and drippy from the knees down.
I mean, it's the pool blessed by the sun. Surely it has something cool going on. There's only one more thing I can think to do before we attempt the time of day / I think it might even be as simple as if the sun's shining, maybe. That's the key, but how hard would it be to just raise one of these boards up on this gazebo?
I mean, I described several times the gazebo as, quote, extremely frail. So, like, it'll hold weight, but, like, it'll be pretty easy to pry a board. It's not hard.
Hear me out, gang. I fully recognize that vandalism of a holy place is probably not something that we normally could get by with, but considering that our note says that Daddy Angel will smite whoever tries to get in our way, I think it's worth looking up underneath here real quick. I don't say we just like slam through it or whatever, but maybe we raise a board up, take a look around.
Fair enough.
You're muted, Bonus Mom.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do anything. I think I'm just gonna silently stand there just because I don't really have a say, kind of, like, at least within this group yet. So
Ash, if we damage it in any way, I will mend it.
Well, excellent. That works out perfect then. I'm gonna rip a board up.
Yeah, Esmeralda says, listen, right, here's the thing. Morning Lord, very famously, can't get here. All I'm saying. It's like a victimless crime. Or at least a crime where the victim physically cannot reach you.
Those are the best kind of crimes. Okay, let's open this thing up.
Okay.
I have low expectations. I want everybody to know, but I would feel better if we checked.
Okay, so first things first, make an athletics check for me to sort of pry up a board.
This is one of these times I really hope I don't get a nat 20. I'm not gonna lie.
It's 22. And then make a sleight of hand check for me to sort of like control your demolition here.
And that was a 22, a dirty 22.
Yes, thank you.
That'll be a 19 for the sleight of
Okay,
hand.
fair enough. Yeah, you are able to carefully pry up one of the boards.
I'm gonna take a look under the gazebo.
Okay. Do you have any kind of like light source or?
I mean, I have a lantern.
Okay.
I could light up real quick.
Yeah, I mean it's dark under so because the gazebo is probably like 10 feet by 10 feet circle.
Sure.
It's like a 5-foot radius circle kind of thing, right? So if you're just like pulling one up in the middle, the light from one board being removed is not going to allow you to see the whole thing. So you'll probably have to get your lantern out.
Yeah, we'll light our lantern, put it down in the hole, and then put my head down there and kind of look around.
Yeah, as you look down into the gazebo, you
Snake across my
do
face, got
find
it.
sitting there in the dirt
Oh, God.
the hilt of a weapon.
No way! God, you'll never believe it. I was right. I'm not going to
Oh
actually
my
yell
God.
that, but I'm pretty excited. Not going to lie. I'm going to grab it.
Yeah, you close your hand around it and pull it out. And yeah, this thing is a it's the hilt of a bladed weapon, but there is no blade on the weapon. You
shit.
see like a leather wrapped hilt and a kind of jewel in the cross guard, which is sort of very finely made. Yeah.
Well,
You found
I was
a thing?
half right.
And you can tell holding this blade, like you get that ye olde tingle in the fingers.
Ooh, it's got the magic
Something fancy going on with this blade.
It's kind of like out of context, that joke
Well,
is one. Anyway,
has it been more than 10 minutes
Has it been more than 10 minutes since what?
since I cast Detect Magic?
No, I wouldn't think so. You've like wandered around a little bit. He pried the thing up and looked and found it immediately.
Okay, well, then I would sense
Yeah, you
the
sense Detect Magic. Yeah, it's magic. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it has a particular school of magic associated with it.
It's definitely magic, Ash. But I don't sense a particular school to go with it.
okay, well,
It doesn't have a blade.
Yeah. I think I would hand it to Wanderous and then like poke my head back under there and kind of like feel around and see if there's like, the other piece to it or whatever, which I feel is highly logical, by the way.
Yeah, you sort of like feel around. You do not feel a blade.
Well, this mother trucker better be a lightsaber then, is all I got to say. This is going to be real disappointing if this is it.
Yeah, yeah,
Wanderous,
I mean, go ahead.
well, I was just going to say that if he hands it to Wanderous, then Wanderous is going to hold it. He's trying to sense what magic is in there. He's going to investigate it. Does he get any evidence that a blade was ever in it or has broken out of it? Like what does it look like where the blade was? Or was there?
Yeah, no, it does look like there was a blade in there at some point.
It does look like there was just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a magical item. You guys do know that, like, so you have a couple of possibilities here. If anybody has access to Identify, right, you can know immediately what this thing does. I don't think any of you do. Esmeralda doesn't. I don't know if any of the rest of you do.
What about
I'm assuming,
Kaz?
yeah, I'm assuming Cass probably doesn't.
I don't think Cass would have Identify as a paladin. That's usually... No, does not have Identify.
Okay, but hear me out. We found something. We could ask the angel dude whenever we get back to the Abbey with the dress.
And I was going to say another option, if the item requires attunement, you can find out what it does by attuning to it. But that precludes you knowing what it does before you attune to it. So it can be a risky move, although, sword hilt that was foretold to you by the, seer lady found in the religious place. It's either, like if it's cursed, they really got you with that one, like we're going to hide this
really
in the church.
Long game for sure.
Mordenkainen would probably certainly know identify. I don't think you
mean Van Richten?
Yeah, sorry, Van Richten. No,
Okay,
not Van Richten. The Mad Mage. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I forgot
the M name. Yeah, God, it's in my brain. Mad Mage would know identify. I don't know if Van Richten knows it or not, but Esmeralda would know if he knows it, right? So she'd be able to tell you if he could do that. Let me look at him. No, he does not have. He does not seem to have that.
I mean, at the end of the day, we got a couple of options here to. I'm assuming that we're all pretty sure that the blade's just gone. It's not in this. It's not here, like in this area.
Yeah, I think you've searched it well enough at this point to know.
Excuse me, I still got the magic thing going, and I think that that as during that period of time he's doing what he's doing, I would have been like feeling around for any magic that was anywhere. It's a concentration spell. I wouldn't want to waste my time. One of the things that I would have also considered and looked at was the statue up above to see if there was any magic there or if I sensed any magic within 30 feet.
Yeah, so with the detect magic that you had, the only magical things that you get anything off of are whatever you guys brought with you that happens to be magical, the pool and the hilt.
There may be a chance that having the sword and having the sun hit the pool might do something, but I don't have any way of knowing that, really. That's just an observation.
Hear me out. Do we take the risk of attuning to it if we can?
Which one of us is going to be the best able to handle a mighty sword of destruction that's going to take down Strahd? When the time comes, which one of us has the greatest potential to do that? The cleric, the bard, the other cleric, or the fighter?
Paladin.
Yeah, partially it depends on what kind of sword this looks like it will be. And I don't think you necessarily know if it's like, because if it's a long sword or a short sword or a rapier, like that sort of matters depending on who's proficient with what. It's almost certain that the paladin would be able to use it because paladins are proficient with all martial weapons. Aside from that, it's a crapshoot for the rest of you, basically. I don't know what PETA is proficient in. If PETA's proficient in all martial weapons or in long... If PETA's at least proficient in long swords, then it's almost certain because I think short swords are not martial weapons. So it's like... Or maybe they are. But yeah, so it's, it depends. Or if it's a rapier, PETA would probably have that proficiency.
It says I have proficiency with long swords and martial weapons. So
yeah, so between the two of PETA and Cass, they both probably would be able to use whatever this ends up being. I mean, Esmeralda would as well, but I doubt you want to give the world-saving item to the NPC. So,
well, one of the things you can sometimes tell from a hilt is what kind of blade would be in it. In other words, it would, the opening that we're talking about that Wanderers would have been looking at would have looked very different for a rapier or a broadsword. So have we determined that from looking at the hilt?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
We don't have to risk it. We don't have to make that decision right now. Maybe.
Well, and it's not like if one person attunes to it, you can never unattune. Like you can unattune from a magic item and then someone else can reattune to it. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be the person who is going to wield it in the end.
Well, for the sake of the argument for the here and now, with what we're going to do right now, I say that Ash shouldn't, because I have zero magic knowledge, period. I feel like somebody else. If you guys want to, it should be one of you guys.
Well, Wanderers is certainly willing, but it sounds like that the other two are more likely to be able to really handle it. But I'm certainly willing to try.
I mean, I would say we shouldn't have Cass do it because Cass isn't here. So if anyone's going to do it, it needs to be Peter. Now, it doesn't mean that Cass has that, you know, just because one person attunes to it now doesn't mean that has to stay that way. But I'm going to say we shouldn't have Cass do it on a day that Cass isn't there because that's just me role-playing another character about what's happening to them.
I'm just going to throw in there is that's a lot to put on PETA, who's new to the group and kind of whatever. But
yeah, I mean, I don't really mind, like, because I'm kind of ultimately looking to write amazing stories anyways, so.
Okay, then Wanderous would certainly let you, but I don't think taking it to the Abbott's a good option. What if he was just really wanting it? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, valid.
I trust PETA a whole lot more than the Abbott.
Yeah, he's kind of nuts. That's fair. Well, I'll leave it up to you guys.
Okay.
We find somebody to do it, but I'm like definitely hyper fixated on where the hell's the blade. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. Do you have any current magic items that you're attuned to right now, Wanderous?
Oh, that's a good question. Do I?
I was just curious.
Well, that's
I
a
don't
DM
think
question.
that you do. Yeah, let me look
with...
at what you've got, Wanderous. Hang on, stand by.
Completely off topic, but I don't even. Did I have to even attune to the blood blade?
I think you might have. I'm not sure. I think it required attunement.
I have. Well, no, thither is just. It's my crossbow.
It's just it's just a crossbow.
No, I don't think you have any magic items.
No.
Your astrolabe is like your holy symbol, but it's not a magic item. So no, Wanderous does not have anything they're attuned to. Nor does and Cass has the mace. I don't know if the Mace of Disruption requires attunement or not.
I thought he did have to attune. I'm
maybe.
Almost
I mean, it's a reasonably
wrong.
powerful weapon, so often you do have to attune to those. Yes. So the Mace of Disruption does require attunement.
Thought I remember. I don't remember having to do the attunement. I remember doing like the like scene where like I seen the stuff, but I do remember.
I did say it requires attunement. Yes.
Okay, and that's totally cool. I just I remember specifically with Cass, it was like a whole thing.
Yeah. Now each person can have up to 3 items they're attuned to. So just because a person has one doesn't necessarily mean that they.
No, I was just making sure we didn't have. Like,
another thing I should mention, Wanderous, is that Esmeralda appears to have a magical rapier and a magical axe. So her weapons that she has on her are in fact magical. You would read off that.
Okay.
So.
Well, Wanderous is willing, but we'll defer if the bard feels like they're more able. Otherwise,
I mean, everyone's kind of deferring, so I think we're just going to leave it to PETA. PETA, do you attune?
You know what? I'm. Why not? Let's attune to it.
All right. So you all sit there. It'll take an hour. It'll take a short rest to attune. Wanderous, you can fix the hole in the gazebo if you want.
I will do that.
And then I'm gonna pop over to the map for a second. As you attune to it, PETA, you come to know what this thing is and what it does.
Ooh, baby.
This is the Sun Sword.
Ooh.
As a bonus action, while grasping the hilt, you can cause a blade of pure radiance to spring forth into existence or make the blade disappear.
Yeah.
While the blade exists, the magic longsword has the finesse property. If you are proficient with short swords or long swords, you are proficient with the Sunblade. You gain a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls with the weapon, that deals radiant instead of slashing damage. When you hit an undead, it takes an extra 1d8 radiant damage. Also, you hear this.
Oh god, it's a sentient sword.
Who holds the blade?
Pahita Wallhorn? Who the fuck are you?
I am the Sun Sword.
Oh, okay. So you talk.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Do you need me to clean you up at all? Or I don't know. I've never talked to a sword before.
I desire one thing, and one thing only.
Yes. What is that?
To kill Strahd.
Ah, yes. That just sounds like we share a common goal then.
Excellent.
Is there a name I can call you by aside from Sun Sword?
I've never had a name before. I was once possessed by Strahd's brother, Sergei von Zarovich. I used to have a beautiful crystal blade, strong as steel. But Strahd employed a powerful wizard to destroy the weapon. Destroy my blade. After Strahd's death, and after Sergei's death.
Real quick.
To destroy me. Sorry.
Only Peter can hear this, right?
Yes, correct. Only Peter.
Oh my god.
Darn it.
So you guys are just hearing this.
Perfect name. I got
Only
the
Peter,
name.
yeah, only Peter can hear this, and you're just watching Peter like stare at the sword. Also, Peter, do you like you discover when you attune to it that you can like turn it on and make it be a lightsaber, basically a sun sword. Do you do that, or do you just like keep the knowledge that it can do that? As because at this point I'm like, and I guess describe. Are you just like staring in wonderment at this thing? Are you speaking out loud at it? Like what's happening?
I think I'm gonna kind of like, I guess, speak telepathically very fervently with it, but I'm not gonna like have it show its blade or anything at this point. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ask it if it wants a name.
Yeah, that sounds honestly super rad.
Excuse me. Jesus. I don't have
sending you mental thoughts. I'm telepathically sending it to you. But if you want me to, I'll do it this way.
I mean, yeah, that'll work.
I got a good one.
Poor Ash over there kicking rocks. I thought I found the sword, and no man knows that we found the sword and didn't do anything. Damn it!
You don't have to use it if you don't like it. I sent it in our Curse of Strahd thing.
Okay.
I think I did.
Yeah, I saw it come through.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how do you feel about Sergei either Sergei's Revenge or Sergei the Second, in honor of your previous master?
I do want revenge. I mean, I want to kill Strahd, right? But not because I really want to free the land of Barovia of this evil curse, but because he's a dick who broke my fucking blade. Hate that guy. Fucking sucks. I want to kill him. I want to kill him so bad.
I mean, same. How about let's keep it simple? How about we just call you Revenge?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Dope.
This is a total Soul Eater moment where the Holy Sword is just a total Chad. It's
Oh,
like,
100%.
oh, God damn it.
Yeah, and I think when you name it Revenge, like shit hot guitar licks start playing in the background in your head. You know, just like dun 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 dun, you know.
Oh my God.
At that point, I'm gonna go ahead and like just like stand up and then like hold the sword up, and then I'm gonna activate it.
Yes. Beautiful. So yeah, you sort of like put one foot up on the gazebo, hold the sword in the air, and just like this blade. And it's not a blade of fire; it's pure radiant light in the form of a sword. Just sort of like erupts out of the hilt with sort of like a faint whooshing noise, like a. It's just like, and you can sort of feel like the air being displaced by it.
Okay, dejected Ash is 100% going to go full 80s movie. Yeah.
Freeze frame, yeah.
I knew we'd find it. I'm legit stoked. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Beautiful.
Wanderous is just grinning all over himself. The happiest he's been since he got to this place.
Yeah, Esmeralda says, right, so, that fucking rules. And, that seems, is that made of light? I mean, that seems like the kind of thing that would really fuck Strahd's shit right up.
I mean, considering this was, I'll let them know. Well, actually, I'll ask telepathically first if it's okay if I tell my party about that.
Yeah,
like,
man,
hey,
whatever you think. Look, listen, as long as I get to kill Strahd in the end, whatever you say, boss.
Hey, sounds good. Well, I'll get you to Strahd.
Well, now Pete is a mob boss in the sword world. I don't know.
Yeah, so, this used to actually be, Strahd's brother's sword. Sergei's sword, to be exact.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, Strahd had his blade destroyed, so that's why it does not have a physical blade.
That's the most poetic shit I've ever heard in my entire life. We're
What
gonna kill
kind of
Strahd with his
damage
brother's
does it-
sword.
What kind of damage does it do?
Emotional damage.
Emo?
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. The kind that will, I believe, as the sword says it, fuck Strahd up.
Radiant damage, right?
I
That's the
think
best.
so.
Listen, yeah, hey, say this would be cool, right? Tell them getting killed by your brother's sword that you vindictively broke even after he was dead would deal emotional damage. Yeah, that's good, right?
Yeah, I will. I'll tell him once we get there.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about overnight. We just need to worry about the dress.
Okay. Well, I'm pleased as punch. I say we go dress shopping.
Esmeralda says, oh, by the Dawnfather's tits, this is the best day I've had in a while.
Things are turning up aces, baby.
I'm gonna go
How
ahead and
should
just.
we?
Oh, go ahead.
How should we go about finding the dress?
Well, I didn't see any shops. Well, specifically, I didn't see any inns or anything like that. Were there any shops? I guess is the question. No. I think that the first person we run up on, we just be like, hey, listen, I'm looking for a dress.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a house not that far away. You could probably just like go ask whoever
Door to
randomly lives
door
there.
salesman, except for in reverse. Door to door buyers. Let's go.
All right, so yeah, you go to the house not too far from the gazebo, and you can see that there is a sort of middle-aged man working. He's like hauling a bucket of slop because it's probably headed on into afternoon at this point and like beginning to come to evening. You see a guy he's like carrying two buckets, a bucket of slop and a bucket of like chicken feed, and he's about to go like feed his farm animals.
I think like Wanderers is going to stay with the group, obviously, but given the effect that sometimes he has on people, I think Wanderers would stay to the back and be very quiet.
Yeah, also, I showed you guys the sun blades or the sun swords stats there. In that handout has like what it does if you want to add it to your sheet.
Yep.
And then, yeah, so you guys approach the farm, and who would like to go talk to Mr. Farmerman?
We think Captain Riz, you or me?
am good either way.
Kaz would be such a logical person being female, but we don't have her, so.
I can probably go ahead. I'm probably fairly pumped. Having a sword companion, so.
Okay.
Good day, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm still breathing, so can't be too bad, right?
That very true, friend. I have a question for you, actually.
And I have an answer.
Perfect. So, are you married?
Well, the answer that I had was 47, so I'm not sure. I guess that's not an answer to your question.
Yeah.
Yes. I am married to my darling wife, Vilevinkovna.
Okay, perfect.
The light of my life.
Of course, I'm sure she is.
My treasured angel.
I think we're in the right place.
Yeah.
My sweet darling queen.
Yes, perfect. So,
I lay the world at her feet every day.
That's fantastic. I'm very happy for you too. But so did she have a wedding dress that fit her very well? I'm assuming so. It's her one day that she.
Yes, it was the most beautiful dress ever stitched by human hands.
Yes.
Because my love was in it, you see. Her radiance shone forth in every stitch.
That's it. Yes, okay. Perfect. I am actually looking to be wed myself someday, and I hope to find a dress very soon, actually. But do you happen to know where I can get one around here?
Ah, beautiful dress. Well, the early years of my marriage were hard, and once we were forced to burn the dress for firewood to keep warm. It was a tragic day, but we made love by the light of the burning dress, in honor of our honeymoon. I believe it is on this night that my firstborn son was conceived.
That's very very poetic.
Vincentovich.
Vincentovich, thank you.
So, I do not have my wedding dress anymore. I did once hear a rumor. Somebody in the tavern, when I told them of my wife's beautiful wedding dress and the tragedy of its demise, told me they believed actually the most beautiful dress in Barovia is in the town of Valaki, some noble woman there. So I punched him in his face and I broke his teeth for his slander and lies of my wife.
Yes, I can see that you very much love your wife, and I'm very proud of you for doing so. But as a poetic man myself, did they specifically say which family had that dress? I am not looking to get that one, mind you, in honor of your wife, but just as a for my stories, as I am a bard, you see, I'll pull out my book full of like songs and notes and such.
No, but I mean, they said a noble woman in Valaki. How many of them can there be in that capitalist shithole?
Very, very true. Very true, sir.
Here, here in Kretsk, where I love my wife, we do not buy and sell things. We help each other out. We share food. And what we have is much better place. I've been to Valaki once, and they tried to charge me for wine. Insanity.
Yes, I can completely agree with that.
The selfish who
My
do not
counsel.
give what they have to their neighbor if he needs it.
Yes, you and I, my friend, we think very much the same. But yes. So did the town then make your wife's dress?
Unfortunately, the old woman who used to know how to sew fine details, like the lace of my beautiful wife's wedding dress that we had to burn for warmth in the cold winter, she died many years ago. Before she was able to pass on her knowledge of seamstry to anyone in town. So now, all of our clothes are more plainly and poorly made, and the weddings suffer for it, but no one else is getting married to my wife, so fuck 'em, eh?
Yes. Very smart. Well, all right, my friend. Do you happen to know where this woman lived?
Suppose she lived with a family in the southern part of town near the gate. But her family no longer. The daughters didn't want to learn how to sew. They are actually strapping young lasses. They carry firewood and chop trees. Not
Yes.
so fine with the fingerwork. Her husband was a great bear of a man, and all the children didn't have the delicate digits needed for sewing lace.
It's
a real shame.
Completely. It is a real shame, my friend. But no, I thank you for that information. I wish to pay my respects to that family for sewing your wife such a beautiful, one-of-a-kind dress.
I like you. Here, have an egg.
Thank you, sir. Hold on. Do I have anything I can trade this?
Maybe.
Okay, I have some rations, or yeah, I'll give him a ration. I think.
The dried meat will last in the winter. I will keep this. You are my best friend.
Well, you may call me Pizza, my friend.
Peter. If I have another son, I will name him for you. And if I have a daughter, I will name her for you. It's a good unigender name, Peter, yeah?
Yes. That is why I chose it. It fits in with my repertoire.
I do not know what that means. But you are my best friend. However, I must bid you adieu and get back to feeding my pigs.
Adieu, my friend.
And he takes the slop bucket over and dumps it into the trough, and the pigs begin to gobble at it, sloshing some onto his muddy boots as you turn and walk away from the farmstead.
Jesus Christ, that was...
Oh, man.
Holy shit.
That guy was great.
Nobody's
so
ever
much
loved their wife more than this fictional character in Curse of Strahd.
Do we get to see her? Does she come out of the house?
Yeah, come on. What do you mean?
Nope, it will remain a mystery.
Damn it.
Forever a mystery.
You're his best friend. See if he'll invite you over for dinner.
I was like, yes. Any chance we can possibly come by for some breakfast tomorrow morning?
I will kneel down and give thanks to the gods any day that you darken my door, my friend.
I thank ye. We shall arrive in the morning.
I will kill our fattest pig tonight, and we will have bacon tomorrow.
No need for your fattest pig, but anything you feel like will not support you and your absolutely wonderful, lovely wife.
I will carefully measure every pig in my house tonight, and I will kill the middlest pig for you. My best friend, because you have asked this of me.
You are a very, very generous individual, my friend. I will bid you adieu until tomorrow.
From each according to his ability, to each according to his need, my brother.
Well, that was fun. Headache now.
Okay. Where to next?
Oh God.
I don't know. What did you actually learn from this guy? Because I don't know.
There used to be a seamstress in the southern part of town. She made his wedding dress, or his wife's wedding dress, and his as well, I'm assuming. But there isn't anybody else that learned from her. I guess her mastery with the needle and thread.
Yeah, so nobody in this town knows how to sew a beautiful wedding dress. That seems like it would be up to the standards. But some guy in a bar once said they saw a woman in Vallaki get married in a beautiful wedding dress that was more beautiful than this man's wife's wedding dress, and the man promptly punched him in the face until his teeth broke.
Okay, now
For
which
such
village
slanderous
is
lies.
Vallaki? Is that the first
Vallaki
one?
is the Blue Water Inn.
Yeah.
It's the one you guys have kind of been, it's like been your hub for half of this campaign.
Yeah. So it's like we got to go back to Vallaki and then come
Yeah.
back here and
I mean, and not to mention, it's such a tough thing too, because like we're already on this side, and the thought was we was gonna hit the mountain next, you know.
I mean, if anything, like a run to Vallaki wouldn't be the most terrible thing, as long as like we kind of go quick with it, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the overworld map here.
Yeah.
well, since you promised breakfast, well, then we don't want to be going anywhere tonight, right? We're going into the evening, so we gotta. But now he said tavern. He said he heard it from a drunk in a tavern.
He did say that. That was a mistake on my part. I apologize. There are no taverns in Kretsk.
The tavern is closed.
Maybe
now,
he was.
right?
Maybe that was the one time he went to visit Vallaki. Somebody said they had a more beautiful wedding dress. I don't know. Listen, I'm improvising this
Okay.
stuff. You can't expect me to fully be perfect all the time. Okay, so let's look at this place. You guys are here in Kretsk. The place that you think you might be looking for is basically head back towards Vallaki and take this southern road here. Called the Selenka Pass. It goes like all the way down here. Follow that along across this bridge, and eventually you come to a mountain and like a cave in a mountain kind of thing. So that is like a long ass way to go. I guess we can do the math on that. It would be a long trip. Yeah, you're thinking it's like following the pass itself. I mean, you might try not taking the pass, but also it's difficult terrain outside of there, so yeah, it's like 15 to 16 miles from where you currently are, which is more than a day's travel. It's probably the only place in Barovia that you're more than a whole day away from, and it is that far away from almost every other place in Barovia, basically. Like, it's one of the most remote areas you can try to get to. So whether you leave from Kretsk or Vallaki, it's probably about the same either way. It's just up to you guys what you want to do first. On the one hand, there, you know, you could get the wedding dress. It's like, so, I guess game this out in your head, right? One option is go to Vallaki, maybe find a wedding dress, bring it back to Kretsk, and then go from Kretsk to the Mad Mage to cure him of his madness, and then you still have to go all the way across the valley to the cavern, or go all the way across the valley to the cavern, come back to Vallaki, find a wedding dress. It's like, where in your travels do you want to put the, the going to the spot down there? So
ultimately, we'll have to go down there at some point. So either we can try to take care of the wedding dress thing and get help from the Mad Mage, or we could just try to take care of, like, getting to the cavern first, get that taken care of, and then, like, kind of do a final, like, visit to Kresk, visit the Mad Mage, and then head to Strahd.
Okay, I am remembering or trying to remember back to talking to the Mad Mage.
Okay.
And he told us, that he had lost these things. He needed to find the couple of things, and that if he found his spell book, and he figured out how to repair his staff, and he's kind of working on that. Granted, he's crazy, right?
Right.
He's mad, but he's working on it. There is the slightest of possibility that he could accomplish that. And was there not some way we had to get messages?
Yeah,
that
we
he
got
could.
sending
yes. He gave you a sending stone that you can use, I think, once a day to communicate with each other.
Okay, so if we were to spend all this time going through the wedding dress and the whole shebang for the abbot, only to discover that the Mad Mage had gotten what he needed anyway, and we didn't need to go to make him be non-mad, then we would have wasted our time.
Well,
I can't imagine it would turn out that way.
So to clarify, I don't think you think getting his stuff will make him not mad. Getting his stuff,
Right.
and basically his prerequisites for helping you fight Strahd at this point are he wants to get his stuff back, and then you guys have told him about the things that you're after, and he thinks you should go get all of those before he's willing to help you.
Right,
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah,
that, but
so-
but there's if he got everything he needed, is there a possibility he wouldn't have to not be mad? Like, how
Possibly.
important is it that we cure him versus go to the mountain? I'm
Right.
just trying to make.
I mean, he'll certainly be less effective, probably whilst mad, but he probably would fight with you if you fulfill all his other prerequisites.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think that there is the question of he probably loses some of his efficiency while afflicted with madness because he's not gonna be at the top of his game. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna kind of be.
So we have to do both, so it really kind of doesn't matter which way we go. And
Yeah.
actually, from what you're presenting, it really doesn't matter distance or time wise either. We
Yeah,
gotta do
sort
the
of.
running
And it's
back
like you don't have
forth.
to do. You could order this however you want, right? You could go to Vallaki, find the dress, and then before you even take the dress back to Angel Man, you could go to the cavern. You could go to Vallaki, then all the way back to Kresk, and then, go to the cavern and then go to the Mad Mage. You could do all that and the Mad Mage and then go to the cavern. It's like however you guys want to arrange it kind of doesn't super matter. There might be some ways that are technically more or less efficient in the process, but how huge of a deal is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, with that information in mind too, this is to the cavern is going to be the longest trek.
Yes.
So, like, I guess we need to decide: do we want to run in our little box hub here, finish that up first, or do we want to go ahead and make the big trek now? And then we also should probably, talk with Esmeralda because she might be like, "Yo, I want to go hang out with Van Richt, and I ain't looking to go to the cavern." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, and another thing occurs to me is this all depends on going to the mountain, and if we get the dress to unmad the mage, whatever, but don't find the thing in the mountain, then we still don't have enough, right?
I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
Possibly,
Yeah, I mean, if you unmad the mage and have a bunch of allies and stuff, you might be able to convince the Mad Mage to theoretically attack Strahd without necessarily having that last clue.
But with that being said, like our fortune teller lady's 2 for 2 right now. Or, I'm sorry, she's 3 for 3 because we found Esmeralda, we found the sword, and we found the book. So I guess in character, just thinking critically here, we probably don't have a lot of reason to doubt her at this point.
We don't have any reason to doubt her.
I think ultimately, if we wanted to, I think doing the cavern first would be something that we could
That's
do.
what I'm leaning towards too.
So doing the cavern, and then once we are done with that, head to Vallaki, then return to Kresk once we're done.
Okay. All right. Well, we are coming up on our last 5 minutes. So I'm going to sort of hand wave some stuff real quick. You guys, basically, because of the note from the abbot, any of the villagers in town will let you stay there. There's no inn or tavern or anything, but you can find lodging for the night. And have breakfast in the morning if you actually want to RP that or not. I don't, so I'm ambivalent on that. And then you can decide which way exactly you want to set out. We can just decide that before the next session. So, I think
that way we could ask Kaz to let Kaz have a vote.
And I will also say, for your reward for finding the magic sword, in addition to having a magic sword, is level up, baby! You guys get to level up to level 7 for having found the next piece of your little puzzle here and completing a quest.
Kaz. You're not going to
Kaz doesn't get
everyone gets to level. Except Esmeralda, she doesn't get to level up.
I know.
Cool. So yeah, that's where we're gonna end our session today. As the what passes for sunlight in Barovia wanes into evening and then onward into night as our heroes stash up in some random person's house in town. Sure, yeah. So you stash up at the best friend's house, and we prepare to have the most median pig for breakfast. We are going to end our session this evening with our heroes having successfully found their second item and their ally, which, by the luck of the draw, literally, happened to be in the same town. So next time we will jump in with, whatever happens next, whether they're going to the cave where they believe the whatchamacallit is, the next clue, or whether they go back to Vallaki and start dealing with wedding dress shopping or whatever it is that has to happen. So yeah, we're going to leave it there. Thank you guys for hanging out. If folks will help me try to find somebody to raid, our characters will level up in between times, and we will do our sign off with our typical introducing ourselves and who we play tonight, as well as where we can be found on the interwebs, like any of you need to know that at this point. But hey, this is for our folks 28 episodes in YouTube who are just finding this for the first time for some reason. Vincent.
Yo, everybody, I'm Vincent Page. I have been Ash Fireforged, the Changeling Rogue, finder of the fabled sword. Anyway, if you guys want to come hang out with me any other day of the week, other than when I'm here on Ages of Einor playing Ash Fireforged, the Changeling Rogue, I'm here on Twitch at Vincent Page, playing stuff, man. We're just playing stuff.
Hell yeah. Omega.
Hey y'all, my name is Omega. I played Peter Wallhorn tonight, the Valor Bard. You can find me here every other Friday, typically, or on TikTok, Omega MT42. I haven't posted as much there because life has been insane the past month or two, but I hope to post more soon.
Huzzah! And Bonus Mom.
Hi there. I am Bonus Mom. I haven't always been Bonus Mom, but I am Bonus Mom now. I got to be Bonus Mom thanks to being in Curse of Strahd here on Ages of Einor on Twitch. And I'm here every other Friday night playing Curse of Strahd. And the other Friday nights, I'm here playing Regent of Bedegar, and we're getting down to the wire on that one. Monday through Friday, most of the time. In the mornings, I can be found on TikTok live streaming and talking about lots of Dungeons and Dragons, crochet. We discussed the civil rights movement this morning, and it was very entertaining. So I'm in a lot of different places. I'm a podcaster, Bonus Mom's Tavern. I'm on YouTube with Ages of Einor and Bonus Mom 70, and very active in our Bonus Mom Tavern Discord community. All of those places, I am there, and I love spending this time with you, and I'll see you soon.
Excellent. And of course, as always, I am Pixel, Barovian wife guy, and your DM this evening. Horrible, weird angel man, foul-mouthed Vistana woman, and wife guy extraordinaire. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys.
To know that Pixel talks about that character talks about his wife, and where Pixel got all that is that's the way Bonus Dad talks about me every day.
No, true story, actually. It's whatever bonus mom or bonus dad, well, mostly bonus mom, whatever bonus mom wants, we're just going to take a diversion here. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever bonus mom wants something from me or my brother that wants us to do something that we probably aren't going to want to do. She gives us this really long, like, epithet, basically, and says,
Pixel, honey, sweetie, darling, kissy face, yum, yum, honey, darling, would you?
Yeah, exactly like that. So I sort of was spinning that up into this Barovian guy who just loves his wife so much and really let all the rest of the decisions about his character flow from there. So that's where that whole nonsense came from. Just pull back the curtain a bit since Bonus Mom brought it up. Anyway, I've been your GM this evening, and you can also find me on twitch.tv/hammerandpixel, where I play games. We are probably doing Elden Ring tomorrow with the Reamses, and then, I've been doing Dark Souls 2 Apocalypse, Dragon Lake Apocalypse run, which has been a lot of fun. So you can definitely check that out as well. Does anyone have anyone we should go raid at the moment? I feel like I just saw somebody that I follow go live, but I don't know.
Well, the Ream streams are live. Donnie Yawn is live. Donkey Style is live, playing Grand Theft Auto. Ream streams playing Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, it is Friday night. Everybody's live.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have anyone in particular that they think we should go?
Well, Ages of Einor is also running Curse of Strahd, so we could raid them. Oh, wait.
There are other D&D people. Let's see. Tabletop Rolls or OG Merpay both just went live with some D&D or Pathfinder stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think? Somebody make a decision quick, please. Please.
Tell us in chat, who should we raid?
Or does anyone in chat know somebody that we haven't raided before?
Yeah.
This episode of Curse Strahd
has been brought to you by not being able to figure out where to go.
Being an indecisive millennial.
Yeah, that
right.
is very true.
I can't think of it. Let's just raid the Reamses. Might as well send y'all over there. They are playing, I think, Diablo 4. So, I think I did finally get the sub-raid and the regular raid message. I did. Nope. So, if you are not subbed, there's a raid message.
God.
If you are subbed, what's up?
I'm getting a tattooed of Chad Sunsword. That's what
Chad Sunsword.
Oh my!
I think you mean revenge.
No, I mean Chad Sunsword.
Okay, anyway, we're going to go with the Reamses, send them the Ye Old Yeet Fleet / Bonus Mom's Tavern / Ages of Vinyl Love. And thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we will catch you next Friday.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care, kiddos.